Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am going to be creating some fun Easter cards with our Easter flag stamps dies and some more goodies as well. So let's head down to the table and let's get started. We're going to be doing some foiling, so I'm going to turn my mini Minc machine on to number 3. I've got everything from my first card here ready to go. We're going to make a fun shaker card, but let's do our foiling first. So I have this really cute, looks like chocolate bunnies, foilable background. It's from one of our Easter sheets, I believe. And I dusted it off with our foil dusting brush just to make sure there's no dust or debris on there that'll interfere with our foiling. And the foil I'm going to be using, one of my favorites for spring and Easter, or just any time you want some beautiful pastel colors, is our Pastel Ombre, or Ombre Pastel Cheer Foil. It has beautiful pink, yellow, turquoise, and in between there's like a little bit of purple, tiny bit of green where the blue and yellow come together. So it's a really pretty foil. Let's take our transfer folder for our mini Minc machine, and I'm going to add the foilable and the foil right inside there. I'm going to check it on the back just to make sure I have it the way I want it. Remember, the foil goes pretty side up on the foilable, and once the Minc machine is ready, we're going to run it through. There it goes. Make sure that transfer folder goes in straight and even. Now that we've run that through, I'm going to remove both pieces from the transfer folder, but we're going to let it cool down. We want it cool to the touch before we do our peel and reveal. We want the toner ink that's printed there to cool down because that's what's holding on to the foil. So here we go. Set my foil negative aside. Here we have our beautiful little bunnies, all in those pastel colors. I love it. So for our card, I have one of our pre-scored and folded top folding A2 cards. With our scallop rectangle die, I've cut out a piece of our Riverwalk cardstock. It's a really pretty turquoise. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down to the card base. I'm going to set my card base aside because now we're going to take our shaker cover. This is our A2 small shaker cover. It's 3 3/4 by 5 inches when it's folded. And I'm going to take our pick up and place tool. I don't want to use the wax tip, but I want to use the pokey tool. It's very sharp on the other side. And there's a protective film on top of our shaker cover, and I want to get that protective film off. And this, if you have a pokey tool or something sharp, it's easier to get the protective cover off if you kind of poke around or scratch at it in the corner to get it started. And then once you get it lifted up like so, we can just peel it off and we can throw away this little protective film. Now I'm going to take my shaker cover and I'm just going to kind of pre-fold the flaps back towards the adhesive side. This will help me close them down a little easier when we're ready. Just kind of pre-fold them. They're already scored for you, so they should fold pretty easily. Now I'm going to flip it over and lay it face down with the adhesive side up on my table. I'm going to take our foiled background piece and I'm going to add that to the center of the shaker cover face down. Once I have it in the center where I want it, I'm going to hold it down to the table with my left hand and I'm going to peel the release paper from one of those flaps and then I'm going to fold it over and press it down onto the paper. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same on the other side, still while holding the paper and the shaker cover flat down to the table. We want to hold it as flat as possible. I want to keep it nice and flat. We'll turn and still while holding it, I'm going to do it to the third side. But we're not going to do that fourth one just yet. Now we have a pocket. So we have a perfect little shaker pocket. And we can add our sequins. I'm adding the Glowing Pastels. It's a beautiful, luminous pastel sequin. And they're sequins with no holes in them. I've used this pack before, so it's not a full package. And I think I'm just going to use the rest of them that are in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it open. And that way I have an easier time pouring the rest of them into my shaker pocket. So I'll just open that up and we'll pour it inside. And once I get them all in there, now we have our little sequins in there. I can put this back down on the table and fold down and press that fourth and final flap. I'm still holding it flat to the table because I want this to be as flat as possible. There we go. That's pretty, isn't it? Love it. So now we have our shaker cover. I want to decorate the outside of our shaker cover. And when adhering things to the shaker cover, since it's non-porous, I like to use like a double-sided tape or a tape runner, just a nice dry adhesive, so I don't have to wait for a liquid adhesive to dry on that non-porous surface. So I've cut out of our Riverwalk cardstock just a little 1-inch strip, and then I took our scallop border dies and I just die cut a fun little scallop border. On the top of that I've got just a little strip of Evening Clouds cardstock, little 1/4-inch strip. I am going to use some liquid glue to adhere that since I'm doing cardstock to cardstock. Because it's a little thinner than my tape runner. There we go. Just a simple little something like that just gives it enough decoration, and it gives a little place to anchor our bunnies too. They have a little border to stand on. They're not just floating on top of a shaker cover. So now I'm going to adhere them. And there we go. These adorable bunnies are from our Easter flag stamp set, and I've used the coordinating dies to cut them out. So now we just need to adhere our shaker cover to our card front. In order to do so, I like to use our Easy Tear tape. It's a really nice strong adhesive. You want something strong when you're adhering a shaker pocket to your card because it's a little heftier than just a piece or two of cardstock. So you want something that's going to hold it to your card for a good long time. Our Easy Tear tape is called that because it is super easy to tear by hand. I'm using our 1/2 inch. We also have 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch widths. Something for a variety of projects that you might need it for. Just gonna lay it on top there of the ink machine in case we need it again. And then I'll peel the release paper, which I love our tape also because the release paper comes off very easily. And as I mentioned, it's a super strong adhesive, so it's nice, strong tape. Overlapped that one a little bit. I want to make sure I've got my card opening the right direction, and we're going to put this on right side up and not upside down. I love the A2 small shaker cover because it fits within an A2 card. We also have a regular A2 size that'll cover the whole card front, which is fun too. But this one I like to use our little scallop rectangle die and have a little border going around it. And then you shake, shake, shake. Shaker cards are so fun. And with these shaker covers, they have never been easier. Look at that. I love that foiled background there. That's our first card. For our next card, we're going to use one of our pre-scored A2 side folding cards, but we're going to do it in a horizontal orientation, and we're going to make a little bit of a scene card. So the first layer I'm going to put down, I've taken our scalloped rectangle set 2, and I've got the largest one, and that fits within your A2 card and gives you a little border around it. I'm going to adhere that down to the card base. I've got a little bunny with eggs around him. I've got some extra eggs. I've got an Easter basket full of eggs. I've already got them colored and cut out. I've done the sentiment Happy Easter and used the die to cut that out. It's really cute. Our scene is going to go on this cute cloud paper for one of our paper packs. And I've die cut it out with our wide stitched arches. So they're wide, they go wide across the card. This one is too wide to go in this, it sticks out to the side. So we want to do it horizontally. Fits on the card nicely this way. And at the bottom of that arch, I want to create some grassy hills. So I've used our Waves and Scallops border dies, and out of On the Green cardstock, which is our nice dark green, and the Park, which is our lime green cardstock, I've cut some waves, and then I've cut the coordinating scallops to those waves. I love how they go together, and you can glue them together and you create like a little, it's like a little grassy hill, and the little scallops could be, you know, like foliage or bushes or grass. It just creates a really cute dimension. So I'm going to glue them together. And I just cut them longer than I needed. The dies, the border dies are 6 inches. And I just cut about 6 inches so that I could put it across my arch and place them where I want them. I can play with the placement, and then I'll cut the excess off the ends. But see, you just glue on the back. And then you fit the little scallops right on top of the waves. Super easy and makes a super cute little background. So as I mentioned, I'm going to play with the placement. All of the scallops and waves have different waves to them, so you can put them together and just get little grassy hills. I think I like it about like that. So there's the first one, and I'll just turn to the back. And cut the excess off the ends. And the cloud background paper is from our Happy Days paper pack, I believe. It's called Happy Days. And then let's glue down the second little hills piece. And again, I will cut the excess from the back. And now we're ready to attach our little arch to the card. There, I think that makes a really cute little scene for our bunnies and our basket. I'm just going to play with the placement of everything. I may want to stick the basket down underneath some of these scallops. I tried not to put glue right up to the edge. And then lay some of the eggs around. I'm going to grab some of our foam tape adhesive. Comes on a giant roll. I may just want to pop some of these little pieces up. I think I'll glue the basket directly down as well as the bunny, and now I'll pop the bunny up. Let's do that. So let's put some foam tape on the little eggs. So I want them standing up in the foreground, and we'll pop our bunny up as well. And then I want to pop my sentiment up, so I'm going to put some foam adhesive on the back of that. So let me glue my basket down first. Let's put our second little eggs grouping. And last but not least, our little Happy Easter. I'm going to put it right at the top. Maybe this side, here, maybe over to the side, just a little over to the side, yeah. I like it over there. All right. And there's our adorable little Easter scene card. Super cute. I love the little grassy hills and that little cloud background. For our next card, I've got another A2 side folding card base. We're going to do a little more foiling. And this time we're going to foil these lovely eggs. We're going to do the negative piece of the eggs. I call it negative because it's kind of a negative print. So the print is kind of in the background. You see where it's black. And I'm using that beautiful ombre pastel foil again. I'm just checking the back and make sure everything's the way I want it, and then I run it carefully through the ink machine. Now that it's run through again, I'm going to remove both pieces from the transfer folder. I'm just going to set it here real quick. We're going to use it again. I'm going to let it cool down. We want it cool to the touch. And then we do the peel and reveal. That's gorgeous, isn't it? The eggs are white with that foil in the background. But guess what? We're not using this one for our card. I'm going to set this piece aside. We can use this for another card, this gorgeous egg piece. We're going to take a solid toner sheet. So this looks like a piece of cardstock, pink cardstock. But this is from our Garden toner sheets. They're called Garden because they're pretty kind of floral spring colors. It's like a muted rainbow, you could say. And this is a solid toner printed sheet. So it's printed in solid pink toner ink. And we're going to add our negative foil design to this sheet. So we're going to take this lovely pattern of eggs that's on our foils now, and we're going to foil the solid toner sheet. Again, you put the foil pretty side up to the toner sheet, just as I've done here. But what I like to do again is turn it to the back and make sure that the toner sheet is where I want it in the pattern on the foil. Okay, and then we can run it through. And it doesn't matter if you run it through upside down or right side up. The Mini Mink machine has 2 heated rollers, so you're going to get heat and pressure from both sides. While that's running through, I'm going to glue down, I've cut out a scallop rectangle from our Moss cardstock. It's a nice bright limey green. Our scalloped rectangle dies is one of my go-to, if you haven't been able to tell yet, if you've watched enough of my videos, it's kind of one of my go-to dies for a background. I love the small little scallops and just the little detail they add to the card. Again, we're going to remove the 2 pieces from the transfer folder, but we're going to let them cool off just a bit before we do the peel and reveal. So let's do it now. That's my favorite part. Oh yes, love it. Look at that. We've used our entire piece of foil. Okay, so it's kind of like getting a 2 for 1. And look at this. We've taken that pink toner sheet. It's still pink in the background, but now we have gorgeous foiled eggs all over it. I love that. So pretty. So I've got a little piece of diagonally striped pattern paper, and I want to glue this to the bottom of my little foiled piece here. And then before we add it to the card base, I've got some twine, some of our twine cut. I've got 3 colors, and I cut 2 of each color. Just 3 little pastel colors that match the colors of the card. And I first want to wrap 1 of each color around the front of the card and adhere it in the back. So I'm going to add some adhesive on the back side of my card panel where I want that twine to adhere. And you can use your liquid glue if you like. I just find that tape runner is just quick and easy. You just run it down, fold that twine to the back, and it adheres immediately to that tape runner in the back. Just like so. And now we're ready to glue this panel down to our card base. Here's our card base so far. Love those foiled eggs on there with that pattern paper. Just pulls out all the colors in the foil. Now we're going to add our bunny and some eggs and a little sentiment that says "Some bunny loves you." So I've cut out with our zigzag circle dies and Evening Clouds cardstock, nice lavender color. But I'm going to cut just a little bit off the side. Just a straight line there off the side, because I always like my pieces to look like they're going off the side of the card. It just adds interest to your eye when you do that, to have it going off the edge of the card. So I'm going to glue this piece down. And I am putting it right over that twine too, so the twine just shows over here on the side. I'm going to glue my bunny directly down to that little semicircle. But I got an extra piece of foam tape that I'm going to add to my little eggs. And I'm going to pop those little extra eggs up. Just right down there in front of the bunny. Just creates another little extra layer of eggs. I've got the sentiment "Some bunny loves you." It's also on the Easter flag set. You could pop this up with foam tape also if you wanted to. I'm just gluing it directly down over here on the right hand side. And then I'm taking my 3 pieces of twine that I have left, and I'm going to push them underneath the twine on the card. I put a little dot of adhesive on the twine that's attached to the card where my knot is going to go, because I'm just going to tie a simple knot, and it kind of holds your knot in place. And then I've got a little excess twine that I want to trim off. I don't want that much hanging on my card. And then when I put twine, I like to take my fingers and rub them against the ends, and I just kind of fray the twine a little. When you fray it, it just sticks out more, and I think it looks better. Just fray it a little bit. There we go. So here's our card. Love those foiled eggs in the background. Then we've got our bunny with his eggs. Some bunny loves you. I believe the foilables that have the eggs is a Fun Eggs foilable panels. Next up, we're doing one more card. I've got a side folding A2 size card. I'm going to do a little bit of foiling in this one as well. I've got this cute little bunny trail foilable panel. I'm just going to dust it off really quick so it foils nicely. And then I've got a sentiment, Easter Blessings. This is from our Easter foilable cut-ups. So it's got sentiments and images that are already pre-cut and ready for you to add to your card. So we're going to foil both of these at the same time. First I'm going to add my bigger piece and I'm going to add my foil to it. I'm using our Lilac Cheer Foil. It's a beautiful lavender foil. We'll put the sentiment in there too. And when I'm doing more than one piece, I like to look at it from the back to make sure these pieces don't slide and overlap. And we'll run it through. I also sometimes kind of support with my right hand here. I kind of support the transfer folder going through the machine nice and straight and even. While those are going through, I can glue down our card panel. This is from our year-round dots and stripes. So on one side it has the stripe in two-tone colors, and then on the other side is the polka dots. So we're going to use the polka dot side for our card. I'll grab our foiled pieces and remove them from the transfer folder. And now that they're cool, we can peel and reveal. I'll do the sentiment. Look at that, that's beautiful. This is Easter Blessings with that beautiful lilac in the background. And then we'll do our other piece. And of course, now you see in the foil where it says Easter Blessings, you can add that to a solid toner sheet like we did the eggs in the last video, or this little pattern over here as well. I cut out this beautiful teal glitter paper from our spring glitter paper pack, and I'm gonna glue the foiled piece right on top of there. I love mixing the glitter paper with the foil, just that extra little different glitter sparkle and shine with the foil sparkle and shine. Just gives it that little extra something. And whenever I glue something to glitter paper, I like to use a nice strong liquid adhesive because it can grab on to that texture of that glitter paper. And then we'll glue this piece down to the card base. Okay, so here's our card so far. I love that little foiled piece there. I've got the Easter basket that's full of eggs. I've cut out a stitch circle with a coordinating scallop circle. So I did the stitch circle in white and the scallop circle in our evening clouds. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue the stitch circle to the scallop circle. There we go. I want to grab some more foam adhesive just to pop up some of the elements of this card. Give a little more dimension. Have a piece for our sentiment and a couple of pieces for our basket. So our basket's just going to go directly onto our scallop circle piece, like so. And I'm going to have that kind of go off the edge of our border piece, you might say. And so our sentiment, I'm going to center like directly underneath that. So it's off center, yet it still feels centered with this other piece, if that makes sense. And here's our card. So pretty. Love it. But yet so simple too. So I thought I'd just take a second and we'll go through the cards we made. We've got our last one here, that beautiful lilac foil. We have our little scene card. Of course, we have our foiled eggs, our little bunny, and our fun shaker card. Love that. Thanks so much again for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed the cards I created with our Easter flag, stamps, dies, and more. I hope it inspires you to pull out some of your Easter and spring goodies and start creating with some beautiful, fun pastel colors. You can find all these products and more at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.